everybody for coming on today. As you all know, this is week 3 of Gut Health Month, and it's been very enlightening. I will say that being a brain specialist, I have always been putting so much focus on what redox does in our brain and kind of forgetting the importance and the weight of how much redox activity is happening within our gut and how our gut is really our second brain, and your brain learns from your gut and it responds to the gut. And as you've known from the first 2 episodes, if you've watched them already or joined us, the biome is the beneficial bacteria in your gut. That was our first episode. And the link between your biome and your brain is amazing because that's where you're making 90% of your neurotransmitters that make you feel good and feel happy, like serotonin and such. We talked about the gut-brain axis and how that connection um, is constantly give and take to both brain and gut. So truly, it's impossible to have a healthy brain if you have an unhealthy gut. It's not just a part of your system that you can isolate and wall it off from the rest. All of our organs and systems work together, and that's where the synergy comes into play. And it's all about connections and communication. So today we're going to go deeper into the gut health in relationship to our immune system. Remember, your immune system is always on red alert and it needs to respond quickly when there is a threat that comes into play. So let's go ahead and begin. And so we're going to understand our overall relationship between our gut health and our overall redox signaling health in our body. And so let me just ask a question. Have you ever thought to yourself, what if your immune system wasn't just controlled by your genes, but by the health of your gut and the power of your signaling communication? Things that make you ponder. Well, in today's episode, we're going to talk about understanding your gut health in relationship to redox signaling. And we're also going to learn how they work together to supercharge your immunity and your overall health. So, our gut is actually our immune headquarters. You may not have thought about it this way before, but that's the best way that we can explain what's really going on with our immune system is by looking into the gut. Now, 70% of your immune system and your lymphatic system resides just behind your gut in that mesenteric lymphatic area of our body. Now, in front of all of that is our microbiome, and it's producing metabolites that are training our immune cells on what to do. They're also maintaining the gut lining and the integrity of that lining so harmful pathogens don't break it apart and destroy it and cause bad things to be leaking into our bloodstream. So it truly is just a matter of balance. A healthy gut flora equals reduced inflammation in your body overall. And that means a more efficient immune response when you need it, as opposed to dysbiosis, which is a dysfunction of your gut bacteria. And that's going to lead to an overactive immune system, allergies, and when you have chronic inflammation all the time, it's going to turn on autoimmune disorders. Think of it like our gut is that Houston control of everything. And when we can't signal it properly, we're not telling it what we need to defend ourselves. And so the signaling is so important when it comes to stopping immediate inflammation reactions in your body. And that's our basic immune response. I like to think of this next slide as one of my favorite ways of explaining what redox signaling molecules are. By definition, they're molecules naturally produced in our body that help communicate, repair, and adapt to stresses in our body. We call it the language of our cells. Now, our cells don't necessarily speak English like, hey, turn this on, turn this off. Think of it more like music. Music can be used in so many different ways. Certain songs or notes can elicit joy and happiness and make you feel good. Other ones can make you terrified. Other ones can startle you and scare you. So, symphonies and music orchestrators use these tools or these facts to elicit emotions in your movies. The background music is all playing and it can immediately make you feel certain ways. Well, it's just a signal. It's a note, even, not even a word, but yet we can tie it to so many different feelings. So think of this as your body's way to naturally communicate. Redox molecules are like the letters of the alphabet. In fact, they'd be like the vowels of our alphabet because there's a little bit of one in every molecule in your body. These are the root molecules that your body's making to communicate, to defend itself, to repair, and most importantly, to adapt to things that stress our body. So their main function is to enhance communication between your immune cells for faster and more coordinated defense. They're also detecting and neutralizing oxidative stress. That's what's tearing apart our body and slowly degrading it. And it's activating genetic pathways for immune balance, for detox, and repair. This is how every cell has to go through in order to maintain its health. Until it replaces itself, it needs these redox molecules to be activating inside, doing all of these functions. So it all boils down to if you have a high redox potential, it means you have a strong cellular network of communication. That's what it all boils down to. When we need to communicate for help, we want it to respond fast. When we call 911 or the ambulance, we don't want to say, well, we'll have somebody around in the next couple hours. They'll stop by and visit you. We need them here immediately. This is life or death. Your body is using these molecules to respond, to repair, to fix, to balance, to bring homeostasis back to literally every tissue in your own body. So, what's about this synergy then between our gut health and redox molecules? Why does synergy even matter? Well, your gut health is going to set the stage for your immune readiness, okay, and its ability to stay alert. Redox signals ensure that your cells can hear and respond to the gut's immune cues. If we're not signaling, we don't know what it needs, and these things cause havoc and spread throughout our entire body. So, by having the combined effects of these benefits, it's going to reduce our oxidative stress in the gut lining, which makes it a stronger barrier and more resilient and carrying less inflammation. We also have the balanced microbials plus efficient signaling in place, that's going to allow us to have better production of our neurotransmitters. Things like serotonin. Okay, these are our happy neurotransmitters. 90% of those are produced by your gut bacteria. If it's a healthy bacteria, the unhealthy stuff won't produce it. So if your gut is out of balance, you can pretend to be happy, but you're not going to feel happy. Certainly not consistently. It'll be fleeting. And so it's not just better production of our neurotransmitters, but it's also all the immune modulators that are there to help respond faster and more efficiently to the stresses that we're under. So when we have clear immune instructions, knowing, hey, this is what we need in this part of our body, that's going to equal a faster recovery and what we call greater resilience, meaning you can let the things that stress you just roll right off you and not impact you and cause all this stress to our cells that is unmanageable and causing degradation to the function of those cells. So think of it like your gut is the military barracks and it's housing all your immune troops. And then your redox signaling, it's like the radio signals that'll tell them to know where and when and how to act. Okay, without that signaling, you got a bunch of troops just sitting around doing nothing. They're ready to go. They're ready to fight and they're ready to defend you and protect you at all costs. But we need that signaling so they know what to do and how and when to do it. So, how about some practical strategies to enhance both our gut health and our signaling health? Well, first of all, you're probably going to get tired of me saying this, but the way we make our own redox molecules is by eating real food. Okay, that's not processed food, things that actually grew on the ground or were alive at one point, as opposed to minimizing the processed foods that we're exposed to. These things are just cause a lot of stress, and it happens so quickly, but you don't feel the effects till later. And that's the sad thing is we think we can eat this thing. I know it was unhealthy, but I feel fine. And you think that that's okay. It's setting the stage for switching your bacteria in your gut from the good bacteria to the bad. Then you got no immune response anymore, no defense, and you're having all sorts of other health challenges happen. So outside of the just eating the right things, we want to do things that boost your body's natural redox potential and those abilities. And that's going to be things like regular movement, oxygenation, okay, that's called exercising, as well as stress reduction. Stress can cause so much havoc. It's such a negative hormone. There's a time and a place for it. That's why we make those hormones to get our attention when there's something stressful going on, so that we can manage and deal with it. But we're supposed to be having these variables throughout the day, and the signaling from all of our organs tries to communicate with our gut and with our brain, telling us when it's time to rest and when it's time to go and go, go, go. And if we're not getting that proper signaling, we're going to adapt the wrong way. And most of us just stay go, go, go all day and don't have that variable. And then the organs stop telling your brain to slow down and they adapt with you. And that becomes a whole another problem that we've talked about before. And I'm sure we'll be talking about again. So, the fastest and best way to support your gut health is by supplementing with proper nutrition and supplements in the redox realm. Okay, we have the ability now to give our body more potential than we've ever had because when we're aging, unfortunately, we're losing that potential. So, your takeaway here is that the things that we're doing can absolutely influence both our gut health and boost our redox potential. We're either doing things to help this or we're doing things to ignore it. And you can't just claim ignorance, okay? Ignoring healthy habits will catch up to you. And guess what? You're the only one that's going to have to do the sentence, that's going to have to pay the price and the penalty for not behaving well and not treating your body as well. Now, unfortunately, some people have to deal with that consequence much faster than other people, but it's just a simple law of nature. Take care of nature, nature takes care of itself. Okay, when we work with our body's own abilities, we're going to find ways to thrive very easily and not be an uphill battle constantly through all of that. So, optimal redox potential really is the cornerstone to every aspect of your health. That's the potential that your cell has. How much power does it have? How long can you keep using that cell for before the power runs out? Okay. Having that potential is going to truly bring out the best version of all of us. Think of these redox molecules as bioidentical energy molecules for your cells to help them detect, repair, and defend. So bioidentical means these are exactly what your body makes. It doesn't have to break it down and process it and then utilize it. It just goes straight to utilizing it. Now, the interesting thing about the gut, 70% of these molecules that you make every day are used in your gut, 20% in our brain. And so I've always given a lot more credit to the brain. But what's really happening is your gut is getting healthier, which then in turn directly makes your brain healthier. When we can keep the inflammation in the gut down, guess what? Inflammation in the brain stays down as well. And so, truly, from the 30 seconds or 15 seconds that you're holding this in your mouth, it's lighting up the whole lining of your entire intestines within just that much time, bringing balance and homeostasis back here. And then everybody's feeling less inflammation in different parts of our body and more improvement here and there. But the reason we have to drink it is if we're not fixing our gut, you can do all this topical stuff onto your brain you want. It's never going to last because your brain is a direct mirror reflection of the health of your gut. So you can't have an unhealthy gut and have a very healthy brain. Now, these molecules are what drives the function of every cell. Think of it like power. Like when I plug my phone in, power goes to all the circuits in every aspect of the phone. But then whatever part of the phone I'm using, I'm going to need to redirect some of that power to a certain circuit to get that function to happen. I don't have to know where the power goes when I plug it in. I just know that it lights it up and it's going to distribute that power accordingly based on what I'm doing. It's the same thing for you. It's going to power up all your cells and you don't have to worry about what it's doing and where did this one go and where did that molecule go today. You just know that it's getting into the circuit board and it's helping all the circuits fire more effectively and more efficiently. If you think about your fob to unlock your car, your little remote control, well, if you have a strong battery in there, I can be way far away across the parking lot and still unlock it. But when the battery's low, I have to get real close to it because my antenna doesn't power up enough to go that far to activate that. So think of that in your body the same way. When your redox potential is low, you don't have the power to communicate to the complete opposite side of your body, and maybe even not at all. And so it's all about keeping the signal strong, and that's the battery power. Now, how we control the battery, aging is going to take it away from us in time. But when we can add redox molecules to our lifestyle consistently, we constantly wake up every morning with new batteries again, new batteries again. I can go all day long and have all sorts of potential in my body. When the battery power is low, you don't signal as far or as well. It's just simple analogy, and that's how our cells work. And they want to have lots of power because these are the messengers and the activators of literally every function in your body. It goes way beyond gut health, but it all begins in the gut. Because if we don't take care of the gut, the rest of the body will never find homeostasis like it will. Now, in speaking of gut health, we talked about supplements. Besides redox molecules as a supplement, we want to replace the healthy biome in the body. Now, we're going to talk a lot more about practical steps and things that we can do to turn this whole picture around for all of you in next week's call. But for now, just remember that we have the ability to add the good bacteria back in and stop eating the bad things at least as much, and you will slowly turn this gut around. We're going to talk about a couple protocols that you can do to turn it around real fast for those of you that really do need a transformation in your gut health. And that'll be coming again next week. So, our closing key message here is when your gut is balanced and redox signaling molecules are strong, the immune system doesn't just work, it truly thrives. Now, I want to encourage you. It's about taking small daily habits to truly unlock this synergy within you. Don't think that you have to do it aggressively and then you have to change and flip everything upside down in your world to make this very difficult for you. We can do one step at a time, okay? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, okay? And so some of these lifestyle changes are going to take a bit for you to desire to do it and to maintain those things. Just know that whenever you're changing your diet, if you're used to eating sugars and lots of sweeteners and stuff, in the beginning, anything but sweet is going to taste terrible. But once you do that long enough, 21 days usually will reset everything. But once you've changed something long enough, then your taste buds change. Now you find all the flavor in those vegetables and things that you never liked before because they were so bland. You'll bring out all sorts of aromas and taste and flavors in these. And so just know that, we need to start focusing on eating to live, not living to eat. Okay. That's something that is such a vicious cycle when people have so much stress that they can't manage. So they take out their stress and go have something delicate or delightful that's wonderful and probably not healthy for me, but the stress eat. And what does that do? It causes more inflammation, more fight or flight response, more of the bad hormones to cause more of the same anxiety and stresses and things that you're feeling. And then you eat again to create the same effect. So you get stuck in this endless loop. So health is all about, it's not about just one system in your body. It's about connection and communication to the entire body. And the more we fine tune that and work with that, the healthier you're going to get. And you might feel better than you've ever felt in your entire life because nobody ever connected the dots like this for you, that to make you realize that you're in control of every aspect of your health. Now, granted, we can't stop the fact that we're exposed to toxins and stress and chemicals, but we can certainly know where the most of them are coming from and limit our exposure to them, and then build our strength and our immunity so strong that we just combat everything as fast as it happens. So with that, I want to just say that, ASEA and Renew 28, the gel version of this liquid, we're not here to try to diagnose, cure, or treat any of your diseases or conditions or medical conditions. We are simply here to teach how the body repairs, how the body heals itself, and how you can do things to help your body do that better. Okay, it's all about healing from within. Everything that's ever harmed us came from the outside in, and our body didn't deal with it as well as we should have, or it was impossible to based on the nature of what hit us. But outside of that, all healing comes from within. So when we learn to tap into that innate, that inner healer inside of you that wants nothing more for you to thrive every day of your life, when you learn to tap into that, you're going to find some amazing breakthroughs in your health. And you're going to be like, I can't believe it was just that easy. And nobody ever laid it out like that for me before. So join us next week when we talk about our practical applications and some lifestyle changes and things that we can do to truly get a leg up on our gut health as quick as possible. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.